Hi viewers, welcome to ACTN and welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACTN. It's always a pleasure to be in your company between the hours of 8 to 9 where we bring to you something that is relevant in the sporting industry. And on tonight's program, well, winter has come early at ACTN and I would like to introduce the Winter family. They are represented from the Team Elite Karate Dojo and they hail all the way from Sandy Grande. Tonight they're going to tell us a bit about their success, the establishment, how long they have been in existence, and one of their athletes will be flying out, I think it's next week, Monday, the 21st, to take part in a major tournament. So first of all, let me introduce the head sensei, Barry Winter. Sensei, it's a pleasure. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
And then I have with us Chelsea Winter. Chelsea. Hi.
Thank you for having us.
And I have Christian Winter.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. And you can see a lot of medals. This is only a few of what they have brought to the studio. Over the years, they have been very successful. And first of all, Sensei Barry, let me find out a bit about Team Elite. I know you all hail from Sandy Grande.
Yes.
You all have been in operation 11 years now.
For 11 years, yes.
Tell us a bit about your association.
Well, Team Elite Karate was founded back in 2006, and we wanted a martial arts program that was strong in Sandy Grande area, because usually you had to go out to Sandy Grande to get this type of sport to be, to compete at a high level. So we wanted to keep it in Sandy Grande, and we have done that in the past 11 years. We have dojos set up from Valencia all the way to Grand River.
How many dojos you have now?
We have a couple, maybe about 4 to 5 dojos at different places. We have them in Valencia, Fishing Pond, Sandy Grande Secondary, Grand River, Tamana. So there's places that we hit the rural areas to try to give those kids in that area the opportunity that I never had. I had some of it, but not most of the things now. So that way the kids can now come and train at us from the preschool division, primary school division, secondary school division, and then enter into the national team. So because we belong to the Trinbago Karate Union, the governing body for the sport.
How large is your pool of
How old that we take them in?
Your pool, the amount of students you have under the umbrella.
Okay, under the umbrella we maybe have over 100 students who are involved in our community program. So everyone usually comes in. We take them as young as 2.5 years old. They come in. They're not going to get the intense stuff. They're going to get more fun activities, but still keep with the fundamentals of karate.
Your martial arts background, how did you got into the sport?
Okay, I got in the sport through my mom. My mom took me to my first dojo where I started Shotokan Karate. And from there I went on to do other styles with at my club at the secondary school. And I had competed at major local and international events. So as a competitor, I did a lot and won most of the national events they were. I also competed at the Battle Atlanta World Championship and won that twice. And I migrated to England for a bit, and I won 5 British Open titles, including the Battle of England. So I wanted to come back to Trinidad and give the people of Sandy Grande that opportunity to train. And from the training I would have received and the qualifications, I wanted that, to pass it down to them, which it has been very successful.
What are some of being from a rural community, if you want to put it that way, what are some of the challenges you face?
All right, well, we could use Grand River as one. Grand River is a coastal area, and coastal areas are usually dubbed as, for bringing in drugs and different things. And I guess that's some of the things we face. We're trying to influence the children not to go into that direction. Other things we face is children who come from single-parent home who cannot afford to buy simple gears and uniforms. So it's always that thing in trying to raise funds. So funding is always a problem, but we do our best with cake sales. We try to raise funds in the dojo, and we try to, assist as best as we can. So that's some of the challenges that we face with that.
Now, I know over the 11 years you'll have quite a lot of success.
Yes.
Let's try to put everything into the half an hour that we have. Tell me about some of the travels, some of the accomplishments.
Okay.
I know you all won the last, I think, 36 medals in...
Yeah, we won 36 gold medals, 36. I think it's 36 gold, 18
17 silver and 14 bronze.
and 14
Okay.
bronze. Yes, they have it better than
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And Selena, she keeps her numbers really well. We took a team of 32 competitors to the NAFMA Worlds.
167.
And, sorry?
167.
And 167 medals in total. She's gave me the other numbers too. And we went to the NAFMA Worlds in St. Lucia last weekend. And it just consists of all the clubs from around the world coming to compete. And we had clubs with USA, Canada, Pakistan, and a lot of other Caribbean clubs too, and some Latin American clubs also. And we all competed for the top honors in kata, kumite, weapons, and traditional katas. So we were able to go to that event and do very well. We took kids as young as 5-year-old to compete, and as old, well, not as old, but kids, people from the 5 and under to the 18 and over.
Okay.
So we were very happy. There were other clubs from Trinidad there also. They did their part. But, you know, Team E Karate, I'm happy to say that our club, we dominated the event and we won the most medals. We could go on record with that.
Some of the countries that you all have been able to travel through the sport of karate.
We have been throughout different Caribbean countries. To name a few, we always go to St. Lucia, Barbados. We have plans going to Jamaica next year for an event that we've been invited to. We have done the US Open. So we've been to the States here. The US Open is in July. And now preparation, well, with the national team now. Chelsea has been traveling a little more now. She has been to Curacao and now Suriname. And now she's prepping for this Pan American Karate Championships, the Junior Pan American in Argentina.
And you tell me a bit about that. Before we get in to speak with them, tell me a bit about this tournament in Argentina.
Well, it all came about because of the CKC, the Caribbean, for these medals that she won the double gold in.
Yeah.
So she was selected and she competed in the girls under 14 and she won the kata division, and then she won the girls under 14, 45 plus kgs division. Okay. I mean, I guess the challenge there is that she's a bit shorter than everyone else, and everyone was taller than her. Even while she was on the podium, they were still taller than her, but she came through and she won. And when we had our group meeting after with the president and officials of TTKU, they made an announcement of a small squad of 5 competitors, and Chelsea was the only female they chose. And they said that the reason is that, again, from recent trials and also her performance at the CKC, gaining that spot at the Pan American Karate Championships. Chelsea will be one of the first, she is the first person from our club will be competing at that level, at that Pan American Karate level. The Pan American is mean Pan American Karate Federation, which is under the WKF, the World Karate Federation. And as you know, karate is now an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
It's debuting in 2020 in Tokyo, Japan. So, you know, everyone, you know, wants to get onto that and compete at the highest level in any sport. And, I mean, she's young, so getting the experience out there will benefit her maybe in 2024 and so on.
Okay. Is she excited?
Yes.
Tell me how you got involved in martial arts. Daddy forced you?
No, well, I started when I was, as long as I can remember, I started when I was a little baby. Yeah, they showered me into karate. Yeah, and I learned from there.
Now, all these medals and trophies that you keep piling up, which one of them you would say that you appreciate the most?
My first medal, I was 3 years old at the Purple Dragon.
Yeah, it was a local event.
A local event. Yeah. I was a yellow belt, and that was my first medal.
Tell me a bit about your training. How often you train?
5 days a week. Yeah. There's 2 classes, the first session and the late session.
Wow, what school you attend?
Well, I attended Waiko Presbyterian School and I just passed for Swaha Hindu College.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, what do you like the most about martial arts?
Well, I like the discipline it teaches and the techniques it involves.
I know you came back from St. Lucia recently. How was that tournament for you?
It was a very positive experience. I learned a lot. I was able to see different athletes from different countries competing, and I was able to fight and won 4 gold medals.
So you'll be scared when you're going into battle, right?
I was a bit nervous. Yeah.
All right. And Christian, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Right. You have quite in a curtain
No.
with all that weight. Okay. All right. Tell me a bit about you as a martial artist.
Well, I love karate, and it teaches you respect, discipline, and honor.
So, being in a family of martial arts, I mean, outside of the normal training in the dojo, when you're at home, you all practice, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you all do fight up and beat up one another, right? You all practice,
Yes.
right? So, how was your experience at St. Lucia?
It was a very positive experience to see the other athletes from different countries competing, and I fight and won 3 gold and 1 silver.
Okay. So, Sensei, as a unit, as a family, right? I guess that the discipline that is carried out in martial arts from the dojo, it comes back to your home because you are the head sensei,
Oh yeah.
and you take that discipline from home to the dojo and from the dojo to home.
Yes, we do practice good discipline at home and at the dojo, both in and outside of the dojo.
What would you like to see your kids succeed in at the end of the day?
Well, I would like them.
I know you said that we know that the Olympics has
It's
now,
one of our
Yeah. So are you eyeing and training, especially Chelsea, right now for the Olympics?
Yes, actually, there's a couple students, that one I forgot to mention, Jeron Ignatius, who also from my club went to the CKC and won a bronze medal in the boys 45 kgs division, minus 45. Jeron also is showing a lot of talent together with Maxine, Lopez, the whole bunch of Ignatius, the Francis, the Chandris, the Ramnarangs. We really have a really fresh unit who have been training and specializing in this particular art form, and they have a bright future. They've already won major events, and they've been to the Nationals, which was held earlier in the year, and they have won gold medals there. So it's spilling. So yeah, at the end of the day, we are aiming for the highest level to compete at, to represent the country. And I mean, overall as a coach, I would like to see them to be decent human beings, law-abiding citizens, people that, you could look at and say they could be good role models. And they are so far really decent little kids. And they do have all the love and support from their parents. And that has to do with home too. They do have some really lovely parents who come and support them and encourage them and want to hear what they're doing. And that is something we encourage at our dojo, for parents to get involved. Because sometimes you see, and maybe not only at our club, or maybe not only at our sport, where they will just send their kids just to take up time and then come back,
center.
almost like a daycare center. And that's why St. Selena has set a rule 2 years ago that if you're not there to see a child at least one session in the week, we will be messaging you, and eventually we may ask you to leave if you're not interested in your child development. But that reverse psychology has worked well for us. Parents are always participating. A matter of fact, we had, at the St. Lucia Championship, we had a mother and a father and daughter competing, the Lutchmans, Chrisanne and Christopher. He competed and won 2 golds, and Chrisanne won a gold, and I think it was a gold and silver.
Yeah.
And she won in her division too. So I know what our club does is really family-oriented. So parents are getting more involved. They're even joining the lead class and training with their children. And we could see that really working out really nicely. It's really nice and bonding. And there was a touching moment when we saw both of them collecting their medals together. And while we were even doing the team walk-in, we do have really hard-working instructors who work with us. And again, I tell you, it's family-oriented, very, because myself and Senselina, that's my wife. I have Sensi Cassius, that's my nephew. I have instructor Samantha, that's my sister. And I have other extended family like Toussaint and Raghunath, etc. And now we have junior instructors who are coming through and doing their part, Daniel Zukde. So everyone is pulling their hand. They know, because we always have meetings about what we want to achieve, and we're all in agreement of it.
Now, she's leaving on the 21st
Yes.
to attend this tournament.
Pan American Karate Championships.
Yeah. How is this trip funded? Are you all...
All right. The Trinidad Karate Union, they actually don't have any funding right now. So I think they're seeking it from either another place. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to be getting it. But when I priced the tickets, it's $15,000 for one ticket to go to Argentina. And I mean...
And how much are you all going?
Well, the 5 athletes have to get it. I guess the officials have to get it. I have to get it also. So it is going to be quite costly. But we know competing at this level is going to be a priceless experience. You learn a lot from it. Win or lose, you come out there with some type of experience that is going to impact you in a positive way. And that's how we want to look at it. I don't just want to go there and make up the numbers. Chelsea sure don't want to go there and make up the numbers. We want to go there and make podium. And if the opportunity is there to grab the gold, we will. Okay. We would not shy from it.
Now, when you look at the different tournaments that you all have gone to, and you look at your students, and you look at the students from other countries, how far apart are they? And how much work do you see that you still have to put in them in order for them to really... I know she won gold medals, but I'm sure that there are things that you look at as more or less...
Oh, yeah. I'm critical with some things with my students. I see them do katas. I see things that they could improve on. I saw some movements with their sparring where I think they could have reacted better. And, you know, at the end of the day, I looked at it and I saw 36 gold medals coming through. And all the rest of medals. We were so dominant at this event, especially in St. Lucia, that by the quarter semifinals, we were fighting among ourselves, as in from my club. So we would have beaten the Americans, the Canadians, whoever was in our division, and then the final 2 would have come down from Team Elite. So when you look at the podium and the photos, etc., you will see Team Elite member, Team Elite member, Team Elite member, first, second, and third. So from the beginning, I always thought that these other countries might be more advanced than us. But then, of course, there's the opportunity to go online now, see your competition, train, do more researches as a coach. I don't shy away from getting advices from the other coaches, especially my seniors. I communicate with people as far from Spain and finding out new systems, new training methods. We introduced our deep training system in our dojo. So people's stamina and reaction time has been getting better. And we have developed our own styles that we really want to share right now on air because, you know, we had to keep something secret. We encourage the kids to change up their diets. They're doing more fruits now and they're drinking a lot of coconut water. They don't have any sodas in our dojo. So I think that we are holding up really well against those foreign teams. And even with the national team, what I have noticed, because you have Sensei Peters, who's the national coach in the national team for Kumite, when they go against those other countries, they give them hell. They fight. They give their all. The captain, Shiva, he gives his all. He fights. I mean, when the whole team goes out there and the chants start, you know, everybody's encouraged to push harder. So overall, I think Trinidad and Tobago is in a good position and we could only get better.
Any expansion of your dojos in the future?
Yes, we're always looking at expanding. We actually have on our website that if you like what you see, if you like our community program, and you would like us to come to your community, we are welcome to. And they just will call us and we will make the arrangements, etc. So we always would like to expand. Not too much that we will have ourselves in. We really emphasizing on quality instead of quantity right now. That's why we are having so much success. We don't have a traditional school like where, oh, do this, do 1,000 push-ups and all these things. It's very, not laid back, I would say. It's fun activities that we kind of trick the kids into doing different things we want them to do. And then when they go to competition, they're winning. So our methods are very simple that we use. And football, I like football. One of my favorite coaches in football in the Premiership is Harry Redknapp. I like the way how Harry Redknapp will take all those ex-players who are doing really well and bring them together and give them confidence and give them love. And then you have them. I remember that particularly when Portsmouth was facing relegation, and he got all of them to bring it back up, and they got away from that scrap. So I always like that kind of philosophy. And my athletes and them, I always push them and give them love, check on them. I go through every one of them in the lineup to see if they're okay. And maybe those little things, what the other coaches don't do, I will do it. And that's why I think I get the positive results from them.
Okay. Chelsea, any additional work you're doing to get you prepared for this tournament in Argentina?
Well, not really. Well, yeah, but you could ask Sensei Maria about that.
No, it's fine. No, well, extra work is training harder, working on our forms, etc., working on a reaction time, switching stance, working on reverse punches. So all those, working on a blitz. So just more of the same, and just more again. So
how do you see her performing in this tournament in Argentina? Because I'm sure that the standard is going to be a bit higher than the normal one.
The national coaches have informed me that this is not no walk in the park event. It's going to be much more higher than the CKC championships. I work very closely with the national coach because I'm the club coach. So I will speak to him about matters, what we should do, what we can do to improve. He always gives me advices on what to go back with, and we share different things. So he explained to me from his past experience, this event is not going to be an easy one. This is Pan-American. This is the highest in our region. So all those countries are going to be coming to do well. And again, in the background, it's all about the Olympics. So everyone wants to make their footprint at this event.
Okay. Chelsea, if not martial arts, what other sports you have been involved in?
Well, I am involved in other sports.
Okay.
Other than karate, I am in dancing, hockey, and football.
And football. And Christian?
I am in football. And anything you ask me to do, I will do it.
Okay, all right. So you get them involved in different activities?
Yeah, I think it's healthy for them to try different sports. And the different sports complement what we do. She does the East Indian dancing with balance and spins and very good discipline to get it done. And the footsteps, so the motor skills, that complements that. Well, the hockey, well, I guess she did the hockey in Waco Press. So she enjoyed that, and she went and she took part in the primary school games. And she won some medals in that. And in football, with Naughty Stars, we have Christian and Chelsea who plays there also. And they love.
You're involved with the youth division?
Yes,
of,
on Saturday mornings they have their program there.
Okay.
So, and it's not far from our dojo, it's just next door. Because we're in Santa Grande Secondary.
Okay.
So I have them in the different sports that they tried. Because that's what I did too. Because I played rugby, hockey, everything. But eventually, you specialize and you choose what you like. But I wouldn't take it away from them. It's good for the long-term athletes program.
Before we wrap it, anything you want to share with the public concerning?
Oh yeah, anyone who would like to get involved in our program at our Santa Grande Secondary Dojo, our numbers are 313-1101 or 477-4457. Or you can log on to our Team Elite Karate website, www.teamelitekarate.tt.com. TT.com.
And your days for training?
Our training days are Mondays and Wednesdays from 3:30 to 5:30, and on Saturdays is from 10:30 to 12:30.
Okay. Chelsea, anybody you'd like to say hi to?
Hi, Mercedes and Anthony.
That's a training friends from
And
Instinct.
Ria.
And Christian?
Hi, Cassius and everybody else.
Okay.
Well, I would just like to say hi to all Team Elite Karate family, to Sensei Lena, to everyone who supports us. And we still have some members who are still in St. Lucia who are making back the final trip back today. So I want to wish them a safe trip back. And see you guys at the dojo on Wednesday. Back to work.
Well, Coach Barry Winter, it was a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
First of all, let me say thank you for traveling all the way from Sandy Grande to South.
There's no problem, thank you.
Is this your first visit to South?
No, we've been here a couple of times, but this area,
Okay.
yeah, first time.
Okay, all right. So I want to thank you for enlightening us about the dojo and the work that you all are doing, and especially we like to showcase the young people and the talent that they have, because it's so much of negative things surround young people today that it sometimes outweighs the positive things that the young people is doing. So I really appreciate you bringing the two youngsters here to showcase what.
I wish I could bring more, but there's some of them are still in St. Lucia.
Well, when you all come back from the Argentine tournament, maybe we can look at another
no problem.
Another program.
Hopefully you'll be very successful.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. All the best on your trip in Argentina, and I'm sure that you're going to do your best. Well, viewers, we're going to take a break, and when we return, we're going to be talking track and field. So stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back to Scoreboard here on ACTN. And joining me on set is Moriba Morain, a young athlete from South actually, and someone who has already been around track and field. A young person still, but has been around track and field for quite a while, and a member of the Simplex Track Club. Moriba, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, thank you.
Before we get into your first major senior World Games that recently concluded, take me back to your early days getting involved in track and field. What was it like for you? How did you manage to get into track and field, and who was that motivating factor?
Well, honestly speaking, starting track and field at a young age was not really on my mind to say, because as a young boy growing up, it have a lot of sports, a lot of regional sports that you would actually like and want to be a part of, and just running around in primary school was just something that I like to do. Then I had some primary school teachers that actually looked at me and know that track and field or running would have been something that I would have been good at. And and when it was like my first, I think, primary school sports, I ran and I won. Then I went to zonals, competed against other schools, and the competition just grew more and more difficult for me, and just running against other people, like, I just grew a passion for it, and I say, you know what, there's something I see myself growing into, and that's one of my primary school teachers actually introduced me to my coach, my former coach right now, Ganesh Prasad, introduced me to him, and he took me from that young age to this point right now.
I know for a fact that Ganesh Prasad is one of the coaches who has really, helped a lot of young people. I mean, Keston Bledman comes to mind. When you got into the club, how difficult it was for you to really, get with the program? Because I'm sure that the training regime and the different, aspects of training in track and field, a lot of us doesn't know how difficult and how hard it is to, to really, be on top and to stay peak.
Yeah.
Right, in track and field.
Well, me getting into the club was one part of it, but the training was a totally different part, because now I have to be looking at practicing like every afternoon, like after school and stuff, and that was like, as much as being the physical aspect of it, it was both mental as well, because I had to prepare my mind. After school I have practice and stuff, so that was the hard part for me. But the workouts in general was a bit tough and challenging for me, knowing I just coming out from school and stuff and just having to do this. It was challenging for me just going each and every day. But at the end of it all, you know, I just thinking about the main goal of it, and it was just to be, you know, the #1 competitor at the point of time and at the day.
Now, what was your first major championships representing Trinidad and Tobago?
I think my first was Curifta. That was in Turks and Caicos. That was my first year under 17 year. That was my first year under 17. Actually, I made the 4x1 team to represent because it was the top, at that point in time, just picking the top 4 or top 5, yeah, in each event in the 100 meters. So I came third that time, and there's only 2 was able to run the 100, so I was third in that instance.
But you specialize in 100 and 200.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say 400 right now because since I'm going to school in the States, you know, my coach over there, you know, pushing me to run the 4 as well. But it's been good, challenging at the same time, but specializing in 1 and 2.
After Carifta, what was to follow?
After Carifta for me was what was the World Youth Championship, which was our next big and major goal for me, you know, going into the, you know, was in the top 8. Well, the top final 8 in the 100 meters, you know.
So you made the final?
Yeah, I made the final. I was the top 8 in the final 100. And in the 200 meters too, I was in the semi-final round, get knocked out in the semi-final round, and we went into the final in the sprint medley, you know. And it was, that was somewhere great for me after just coming up in the rankings.
And it's true the track and field that you allowed a scholarship? You went
Yeah.
about, yeah?
Yes, I was actually given a scholarship to track and field from Wiley College. We are 10 right now. When I go back in this month, actually August, I'll be a senior, so I'm looking at graduation next year. So the journey has been good thus far.
What's it like leaving your country at a young age and going abroad? Because track and field in Trinidad and track and field abroad is 2 different things altogether, right? Because you have your studies.
Yeah.
Like in Trinidad here, I mean, you could be in track and field and you don't want to go to school, right? But abroad, you have to maintain a certain level of education,
Yeah.
right? To hold on to that scholarship. You have to study and then you have to train, and both could be challenging at times. How did you, you know, make out?
Well, being offered the scholarship was going to be a challenge for me, first of all, because at the point in time back home here, my whole life revolved around running, you know, revolved around track. So now having to do the same thing out there, having to balance both books and track and field was going to be a bit challenging for me, because knowing that, you know, everything is track for me, but now it actually shows where at the end of the day which one you need more and which one at the end of the day you need to understand more. So when I actually went into college, you know, it was a bit difficult at first. Like my first semester was a bit challenging for me, but eventually, you know, I got the hang of it, and just having to do the both, it shows that at the end of the day, if you fall short on one, you have something else to back you up at the end of the day.
Now, you are one of the athletes who are not, you know, given elite funding. How big of a challenge it is for you and your family, because you have to pay for your education, right? And then when you have, like you were talking off camera, that when you go back, you have to go to China to take part in some events. You have, and your family have to do all the funding. How challenges is that for you?
Well, for me, it's very challenging because there's a lot of things that I would like to do as a professional athlete will do easily because he have the funds for it, but unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to do as much as the person is doing. So for me, it's very challenging, you know, just to get like stuff like supplements, just to get like travel fee, just to get even small necessities, that stuff that you would need as an athlete to better yourself. I would fall short at the end of the day. So when I look at other athletes who's progressing, and I'm an athlete who's progressing as well, but I wouldn't progress as fast as they, because they have the needs and everything that they need to reach to that level for. So elite funding for me, it will be something very vital for me at this point at time in my career. So right now, any help that will do will be good as possible.
Do you, because of this, do you use it as a motivating factor to challenge you more because of this?
Yeah, I actually look at it as a challenge, even though that I'm not actually getting it, but I'm showing that even though I'm without it, I can still produce the time that a professional athlete can do. So that's the main goal, and I don't actually look at it as being a a disappointment. I look at it as being a challenge at the end of the day.
Goals. What goals you have set for yourself in the field of track and field?
Well, I think that the main goal that every athlete who in track and field have is to be at the Olympic stage to get an Olympic medal. And I know that is a typical goal, and that is a goal that I actually set for my own self. But I believe at records, I look at being like, and I wouldn't say a next Usain Bolt, but I wouldn't actually compare myself to him because he's on a level that is way beyond anyone. So I look at records as well. I know that's a bit difficult, but you know, anything is possible at the end of the day.
No, this year was your first, although you went to the Junior Worlds, this was your first major senior World Games, right? What was the experience like for you?
Well, just being selected on the team was a real big, I was really ecstatic just to go on the team on the whole, because just being amongst these athletes, being amongst everybody that, you know, you will look up to, you will see on Instagram, you will see on Facebook, whatever, you know, just seeing them in person and just being able to take pictures and just have a little conversation with them, that was something that really ecstatic for me. And when I was amongst them at the end of the day, you know, that actually gave me a sort of energy just not to give up at the end of the day, but to work even more harder at the craft and what I do.
You entered the 100 meters, right? And 200 or?
No, at the game?
Yeah, the World Games.
No, at the World Games, it was just the 4x1 I was selected to do.
Okay. So take me through that event.
Well, the process going into that, you know, at the end of the day, it was a team event. Everybody was actually motivated and ready to go at the end of the day. Unfortunately, you know, things didn't actually turn out in our favor, you know. So at the end of the day, I look at the team, my teammates, Custom Bloodman, Emmanuel Calendar, Kaiju, and even Danny Telesford was a part of the team as well. So I look at each and every one, you know, going in to this 4x1 over that weekend as a big inspiration for me, but even more and bigger things for us to come later on.
What do you think as a young athlete, what do you think is the one, if you have to look at one thing that is keeping us back from really excelling? Because you know we have the talent, because I mean, look at Jerim and, you know, in the 200 meters and in the relay. So you know we have the talent. What do you think is that one factor that is just keeping us back from just excelling and going to the top level?
I would say support at the end of the day, because everyone look at track and field as a non-supportive sport, because everybody rather support everything other than track and field. Because you can see, like in football, you see at cricket that's going on right now.
Yeah,
you see, the CPL, you see what's going on right now, and track and field don't get as much attention as you get in those other events. You know, you had to invite a guest artist or something to get that crowd, you know, so they wouldn't actually...
Actually they're coming for the guest artist.
Yeah,
really,
exactly. So that's the only way you would get people coming to a track and field event, rather than not genuinely just coming just to support the artist. So when I look at that, I say the biggest thing that downfall that Australians we have when they supporting track and field is just the support on the whole.
Yeah, because when you look at track and field in Jamaica, let's say for instance, I mean primary school track and field, right? The support is great. I look at the colleges abroad when they have the track indoor and outdoor meet. I mean, it's supported. When we have our senior champs here, I mean, if we have 1,000 people, we have a lot. But yet still, when the athletes, you know what is interesting too? When the athletes win a medal and they come back to the country, there is more people at the airport and on the streets than who are actually there when these guys are doing their things. And I mean, the sacrifices that you all have to make, I mean, it's tremendous. And I think people don't appreciate enough, you know, what you all are doing. If you have to talk to the public out there to support track and field, what message would you relay to them?
I will simply tell them that, you know, as much as you see us running and you see us on TV and you guys cheering for us, as much as you giving that visual support, we need the moral support at the end of the day, you know, just being there, you know, even though that we might be on the podium, but that's showing the support just for us even making the team, because for us, that's a big accomplishment, because a lot of people don't actually make an Olympic team, don't make a world championship team, and that's the population in Trinidad being so small to the other countries like America that have this big population, you know, So at the end of the day, we just looking out for that moral support from each and everyone in Trinidad and Tobago.
Looking back on your career, what would you say is the biggest disappointment that you had, if any?
Well, my biggest disappointment was the year, I think it was the Olympic trials that we have in Trinidad, that we had in Trinidad here. You know, I was coming out from college, you know, I was feeling good, season was going quite well, you know, and unfortunately not making the top 6 or the top 5, and that was like a major disappointment for me, because knowing that the time that I was running at the point of time was up to standard, and just coming here, and you know, it was a bit disappointing for me, but just taking that disappointment and carrying it on through the years after that, you know, I just look at better in myself each and every time I come here.
Your biggest accomplishment thus far?
My biggest accomplishment was, other than making this team, was I think going to college, you know, and getting most outstanding performances and MVP and stuff. So that was one of my biggest accomplishments as well.
I know that through your journey, there must have been a number of persons who have been instrumental in guiding you, assisting you along the way. Who are some of those people that you will publicly like to say thank you to?
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you to, like, first of all, my parents. You know, they from the start, from the beginning of everything. My mother and father, you know, my grandmom, you know, even though she passed away, but she was an vital asset to all this accomplishment right about now. You know, next person is Nicole. She's one of my massage therapists. She has been seeing about me for the past time I was in Trinidad here. You know, Jason Pilgrim, he's a part of my physical therapy program. He's been seeing about like when I'm injured and whatever. And these are just some of the people, because there's a lot of people, but they know themselves who have supported me. So I just want to say thank you for everything you have done for me thus far.
Now Worlds have finished. What's your plan? What's the next big event? You know, so what are you gearing up to right now?
The next meet for me is, other than going to China over the weekend here, next year I have Commonwealth coming up, and I think that's in April. Coming up, Commonwealth. So that's the next big senior meet for me. So I'm looking to be on that team there.
When all is said and done, and you looked at your performance throughout your career and up to this World Games here, and you analyze your performance, where do you see that you still have work is needed to get you up to peak?
Well, I would say, for me, I say strength aspect is one of the biggest and the most important thing for me right now. You know, as much as being fast, you need to have the strength as well, and the speed, endurance. So that is just some things that I have to work on as I go into my 2018 season, and just looking to be able to cut down my times just from this year. And
what's the best time so far in the 100 and 200?
My best time right now is 10:19 and 20.60 just right now. So next year I look into even better time, and as years go by, even improve and get below 10.
After track and field?
Track and field, I'm looking at computers. Computers, because that's what I'm studying right now. I'm studying computer information science at Wiley. So I'm looking, that's a degree I'm actually working on right now. So after that, I'm looking at getting into the computer field.
If it wasn't track and field, what next sport you would have been in?
I think that is a question everybody's asked, track athletes, and the one answer they will say is football. Football will be the next major sport.
I want to put you on the spot. Drugs in track and field is a big issue, right? If you had your way, once tested for drugs in the sport, what would your sanction be?
Well, once tested, I think I would have been, I don't really think I would have made a comeback to the sport. I think I would have fairly say, you know what, I would have supported the side, but knowing I have did something illegally and just try to cheat my way into the sport, I think I would have called it, because as you can see what's going on with majority of the athletes right now, like for instance Justin Gatlin, in London, even though he came first, he was booed.
Yeah, and not on one occasion, eh?
Exactly, and not on one occasion, because the Europeans and then find that having drugs in sport is a bad thing, and for him to be in these sports, was even a more bad thing. So now I just look at myself. If I was in a position like that, as much as I will be for the sport, I just look at it as like, okay, I want to just watch to decide.
Now, facility-wise in Trinidad and Tobago, for track and field, do you think we have the necessary facilities in order to, what I'm getting at is that we hear from time to time people compare athletes going away to train and staying home to train. But do you think that it is feasible for an athlete to stay at home to train and accomplish the same success if you leave and go and do your training outside?
I would say yes and no at the same time, because as much as you're having, for instance, like you're having the track here, you're having like your normal your physiotherapist and everything here. What they have here that it have even greater outside is that science is actually come into play in track and field.
Yeah.
So it's not only by you just training and everything. You need to know your strength and your weaknesses. And your coach could only tell you that much, but you need to know your muscle and balance and where you're strong in this area and where you're weak in this area. So that is something that you need to be implemented in Trinidad here. As much as we just train in here and trying to reap the same benefit as an American will do, and where he's getting all this treatment and all these better facilities down here, that's something that we need to implement down here.
Advice to young athletes, those who want the success overnight, but not the hard work that it takes.
Well, I would simply tell them to be patient, because everybody, like every young athlete, we want this thing happen like overnight, as you say, that, and that's happen like as we start the sport, we should be successful. And that is something that I end up having to do the hard way, because there are a lot of things that I wanted to happen immediately, and like I feel like I was running out of time, and it wasn't like that. So it was just to be patient with it, As a person, like as much as I do run, I do other praying as well, and I believe that God have whatever He have in store for you will actually come true. So that is just something I just actually learn on the hard way, just to be patient and just wait for everything to fall into place.
Who are some of the athletes that you look up to and you not, I wouldn't say pattern yourself, because every athlete has a different style of his own, but who are the athletes that you look to and try to follow some little thing that they are doing?
One of the artists I really used to look up to, even though he was on drugs, he was taking an illegal substance, was Ben Johnson. I just used to look at him because of his start, because he had such an explosive start, and that was something I was actually working on this year. And I used to really look at his starts and everything. Usain Bolt was one of them. Just his whole stride pattern and his whole top end speed was something that really used to amuse me, and that's how his whole running style. So that is just some of the athletes. We have other bigger athletes that really actually play an important part in my life, but not that important role actually.
Have you ever been able to meet these athletes like on a personal level?
No, I never really get to meet them. Yeah, I meet Usain Bolt, but we talk.
What's it like? We see this guy on the track, see him going into an event and seems all not concerned. And what's his whole temperament like?
Well, like his personality is really like down to earth, because as much as what you actually see out there is what you actually going to get in person. He's not this type of person, that's isolated from the crowd, whoever. So like when he see you, he will pass you. Or if you ask for a picture or ask for autograph, he will just like turn you down. So that's the type of person he is. When you talk to him, he will give you advice. He will tell you certain things as an aspiring athlete coming up. The best way to follow right about now.
Do you think there's a void left in track and field that might not be filled in for a while with the absence of Usain Bolt?
Well, seeing these younger athletes coming up right now, including myself, as Usain Bolt, take his leave from track and field, yes, it's gonna have a void there for a while, but it's not gonna be like this big spectacular event like how it used to be, because he brought a lot of fun to the game, and now by him departing now, it's going to have the same fun, but it's going to be a little more serious now. We're not going to be going to see these big ecstatic times that we normally do see, but I believe it's going to be a little void for a while.
Who do you see as the next top sprinter coming up on the scene? We were hoping to see the Canadian DeGrasse in this, because really and truly everybody thought that the 100 meters would have come down to Usain Bolt against this young speedster.
Correct.
It didn't materialize. But who do you see right now? And then we have Van Kirk.
Yeah.
Who do you see really coming and taking some spotlight right now?
Well, honestly, I see, well, other than being next person coming up, but it have like Christian Coleman. He's a guy from USC who's running really good now.
Oh yes, he's a guy who came second in 100 meters.
Yeah, he's just coming up for the college circuit, so he's a guy that you have to be looking out for. Even though I got other guys like from Jamaica, like Julian Ford. He's a next good young aspiring athlete coming up. He's young as well, so there's a lot of younger athletes coming up that you really gotta look out for.
Right. Any closing comments?
No closing comments right now.
Thank you very much for spending this time with us. Let me wish you all the best, and
thank you.
We hope that maybe those who are looking at the program will see it fit to maybe offer you some sort of assistance, because we know that it's difficult, doing it on your own, and you are representing the country, so I think that you deserve some sort of assistance. So again, thank you very much for spending this time with us.
All right, no problem.
We look forward for greater things to you for the new season, which opens next year?
Yeah,
okay.
Next year.
Well, viewers, we have come to the end of another edition of Scoreboard. I was talking to Moriba Morain, one of the Trinidad and Tobago athletes recently back home from the World Games. And we want to wish him the best. And viewers, when you hear these guys and they talk and the sacrifices they make outside of what we don't see, especially when they are not funded through any government assistance, it is difficult for them. So maybe if you are outside there and you want to lend some sort of assistance, please contact us here at ACTN. Remember, we always criticize the young people and see all the negative, but when the positives are being done, we hardly ever, do anything about it. So I hope that somebody out there will lend a hand, because it's difficult for him. So again, thank you for viewing this program. If you missed any part of it, there's a repeat tomorrow at 1 p.m. So have a good week ahead. See you next week.